In Africa, like in other outer circle contexts, English shows features of its social context and distinctive functions for which it is used in these countries. Let's start with a little bit of background to the use of English in Africa. Although there are some countries in Africa which have Arab background, for example Libya and Egypt, the term African English is reserved only for the use of English by black Africans, especially in ex-British colonies and in Liberia. In Liberia, because of its ties with America and because it was established, founded and controlled by the US citizens and was used as a colony for freed black African slaves. So we see the linguistic profile of Africa is an outcome of its colonial history. Countries in Africa where English has a prominent position are found in all parts of Africa. For example, Ghana, Nigeria and Liberia in West Africa, Kenya, Tanzania in East Africa, Botswana, Namibia and Zambia in Southern Africa, and then the country South Africa itself. The range and depth of use of English in these countries differ from context to context. For example, the range, the domains in which it is used, the functions for which English is used, and also the communities or the social groups which use English in different countries is different. In some countries, it is used by a very small number of people of the total population, despite being an official language, a situation which is comparable to the situation in Pakistan, where English is the official language, although it is used by a very small percentage of the total population. In other situations, it is used by a large number of population, for example, in countries like Liberia, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. Compared to the other parts of the world, the colonial history of Africa is much shorter. And despite its short colonial history, English has made a strong mark on the language use in Africa. In Africa, it enjoys a lot of power and prestige, and it is used in several serious domains. For example, it is used in the interaction of the government, it is used in education, commerce, and it is also used in in international relations. It is also the language of diplomacy, etc. And it enjoys this privileged position in several African countries, including Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, etc. So we see that despite the short colonial history of Africa, English has made its mark on the use of language, on the overall language profile of Africa, and we see its presence in a large number of African countries.